Alright, Templars, let's take a look at boosting in. I'm going to show off some of the strategic options of building a new battle force in Templars. Once you've had a game that started the campaign a bit, you're able to come in and check this checkbox to skip over the first 5 levels. Now what that does is it's going to give you a squad of 6 Templars who are all around level 5 or just a little bit below. And that's a great way to get started quickly and jump right into the meat of the game, skip the beginning, and just start a place where you have a pretty well customized squad and you can really get going. So I'm going to head straight to my Battle Force headquarters, my HQ, where I can start to look at my veterans and my requisition. So here's my list of veterans. As I said, I have 6 Templars already recruited in my boosted in squad. And now I'm going to head to the Requisition Tree to start the customization process. The Requisition Tree is a big tree upon which you unlock throughout the game everything. All the weapons, the armor, the war gear, the different talents that your soldiers and scouts and other classes of Templars can use. Even the types of Templars themselves, like the Hydra and the Neptune, are locked up on here. So you start at the root of the tree, and as you beat levels, you gain points that you can spend on the Requisition Tree. I'm going to move pretty quickly here because I already know the game and know the tree. So I need basic command, I need operational command. I'm going to grab specialist adaptations, battle suit adaptations, heavy suit adaptations. That gives me the basics. Now here, if I right click, I can check melee specialists very quickly. You can see that we have the minor meditech. It's going to allow me to deploy medkits during combat. That's very important. I'm going to want to get into my scout and be able to get needle repeaters, which are poisoning rifles, bioagent delivering rifles, and crippling fire. I'll take that. I'm also going to take scout 2. I'm going to pick up Engineer 1 and, very important, Engineer 2, which is going to give me the ability to deploy sentry turrets, so I can summon defensive turrets onto the field of battle with my engineers. I'm going to work on making a melee captain instead of a ranged captain, so I'm going to work my way down the captain squad tree. I pick up a couple there, get me what I need, including very specifically this captain's blade, which is a big, heavy blade. And I want a heavy soldier on my squad who's going to be slow moving but carry a big gun. So I'm going to take heavy infantry 1, which gives me a first plasma rifle, and heavy Leviathan. So I have some extra requisition points left over. I am going to keep them for now. Maybe might use them later as I start to really specialize my squad. So with all of those things unlocked, I've just unlocked a bunch of weapons, talents, gears, and things. Now I can go into my veterans and start to spend the points that I got for boosting in. So I'll select my captain here, and you can see that I'm level 5. And then I have attribute points and skill points to spend. As I said, I want to make a melee captain, so I'm going to raise his fortitude, I'm going to raise his strength, I'm going to pick up 2 points of warrior, I'm going to raise his tactics by 1, and I'm going to pump a point into grenades. Gives me a good new set of skills and attributes. In his talents, I'm going to increase my level of frag grenade 1 and increase my level of my blade attack /1, and then I'm also going to take Warrior's Wrath, which is a really powerful buff. It'll let me move quickly and do a lot of extra damage on any type of attack that I choose to make. And now I've spent my talent points. You can go back and look. I'm /2, frag grenade 2. I've added Warrior's Wrath to my buff list, and that's going to give me a very powerful grenade throwing melee captain. I'm also going to go into my equipment. In Templar Battleforce, your equipment, every Templar is given a certain number of gear level points. You can see at the bottom 6 out of 10. And those levels are spent across all of the different equipment that he's carrying. So the Leviathan command armor that's being worn is a 2 gear level piece of gear. I'm going to increase up to the champion command and take that to 3. And then in this case, I'm going to trade in my 2 second level gear blade for the captain's blade. Very powerful. You can see the big damage increase there, big accuracy increase, and it comes with a nice heavy auto block percentage as well. So I'm going to take that. Now what that means is I'm making a very offensive captain. I have 5 points of my 10 points of gear levels dedicated to my weapon. what I'm going to do to help with that is I'm going to remove my plasma sidearm, and I'm going to put on the level 2, the low level shield here. It's not the best shield in the world, but it will help provide some more defense for him. And they make a grenade throwing, sword chopping captain who's very powerful in melee. He's going to rely more on his blade for killing things than he's going to rely on his armor for soaking up damage. Okay, so my captain is spec. The last thing I want to do is design. So I'm going to give him an awesome face and this sweet set of red armor. So now he is set, and we've got my captain, Johannes, is in. I'm going to take a look at a soldier. I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to make a heavy soldier, so I'm going to raise at Fortitude 2 and Willpower, which will help me resist heat damage and other types of specialist damage. I'm going to up my gunnery and raise my tactics. In my talents, I'm going to raise my burst fire, I'm going to raise my overwatch, and I'm going to raise my calling shots. That's a great buff for soldiers. Now, the real thing that will make Charlemagne a heavy plasma gunner is to go in and flip out his weapon for the plasma rifle. Very high penetration, moderate damage weapons, very low range. Often low range is well complemented by heavier armor, so I'm going to pick this heavy Leviathan, which will reduce my move range by 1, but gives me, you can see, much higher deflection to soak up damage and higher armor as well. That gives me 2 gear levels left to spend. I'm going to pick the autoloader for +6 damage here for my war gear, and I'm going to upgrade my combat gauntlet to the Aegis gauntlet. It's an extra 8 points of auto block percentage if he happens to get in combat. A heavy gunner like this is going to be fighting at short range, so he's likely to get melee attacked, so auto block will go a long way for him. And I'm going to go into design and rename her and flip to a new face, and going to pick blue. Now we have an awesome plasma gunner on the squad, and the last one I'm going to look at is my engineer, who I'm going to raise 1 fortitude and 2 willpower. Engineers are very heat intensive classes, so extra willpower will go a long way there. I'm going to raise my engineer by 2 and my tactics by 1, and then we're going to look at my talents. In this case, one thing I could do is raise my power field. It's a very powerful buff. It's very defensive. It will give armor to a lot of Templars around me, and I can use it a lot of times during a battle. So I'm going to raise that all the way to 3. Makes for power field 3. He's going to be a buff monster on the battlefield. Not amazingly powerful in other ways, but will be able to really back up a character like my captain. Would benefit a lot from having power armor, power field dropped on him. Now, maybe for a few battles that's a good plan, but later I want Fury, my engineer, to pick up a different talent. One of the amazing things in the Templar lore is that they can hail back into their lineages. A lineage is a genetic memory that's been passed down from all of their ancestors that came before them. The sum total of all of those muscle memories, active memories, thoughts, experiences are all passed down to the Templars. So the longer your lineage, the more experience you have, the more you know, and the more dangerous you can be. And one of the things that gets a Templar with is the ability to kind of be a chameleon in some ways, to go back into that lineage and find a different skill set among all of his previous ancestors. So while right now I have Fury built out to be a buff monster on the field of battle and drop power field on everyone, maybe I come up against a level where I really need sentry pods, and I can ask Fury to go back into the lineage with the respec option, and I will be able to change Fury's talents between combats. Going to respec, that resets the talents. I'm back to power field 1. I can go to the bottom, and I'm going to level up sentry turret. Now that means in the next time that Fury goes in a battle, it'll be a sentry turret dropping engineer. Power field is back to level 1, so it's not as mighty of a talent, but now I have the flexibility to pull out a level 4 engineer who's going to drop some sentry turrets for me, maybe give range support to my captain where I need it. So in a quick video, you can see the depth of the Requisition Tree, how respec allows you to approach different challenges and achieve really deep replay within Templar Battleforce, and get an idea of the kind of skills and talents and capabilities and the equipment management that you're going to do as you look at your team as a whole and tackle the variety of strategic challenges in Templar Battleforce. Ve Victis, Templars.